Good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. That's right, it is me, Uncle Lou, live on LouTube for you. Thanks for watching the Sunday recap show. The only Sunday recap show that actually matters in the world of college football. That's right, there's a million other places you can go to find out about whatever teams played good yesterday and great plays and great players and whatever, right? It's not what we do here. It's not what we do here. This is Point and Laugh. How's everybody doing? Happy week 0. Welcome back to college football. Week 0 of the 2024 season is in the books, and you know what that means. It is time for the Your Season is Over video. We do this every Sunday here on YouTube, and since this is the first one of the season, and I know we've got some new people around, and honestly, even some of you who've been around for a long time still don't seem to get it. YSIO, Your Season is Over. These Sunday videos. It's a euphemism. It's an analogy. It's just an expression, okay? Doesn't actually mean that the season is over. For example, this mushy pile of shit right here has to play at least 11 more games. Clearly, the season is not over, okay? It's week 0. In fact, they're going to play again next weekend, Monday night, I think, against Boston College. Doesn't mean the season is over, okay? Doesn't mean Florida State can't make a bowl game or win their conference or make the playoffs or win the national title. Now, they're not doing those things. Well, they might make a bowl game. They might make a bowl game. I mean, I don't think they're winning the ACC, making the playoffs or national title, what I saw yesterday, but that's not what Your Season is Over video means, okay? There are going to be teams that lose and then still win their conference, still make the playoffs, and maybe even still win the national title. That's not what the Your Season is Over video means. The Your Season is Over video every Sunday is just a recap video of the previous day's games where instead of talking about winners, which, like I said, is what everybody else, you can find a million other places to go find that. If you want to hear somebody pat you on your little peanut head and tell you how great your team played yesterday, you can find that in a million places. That's not what this is. We point and laugh at teams that show up on Saturday and take a shit on their own foot. That's what we do here. That's what this is. It doesn't mean your season is over. With that being said, welcome to the 2024 season. Now, unfortunately, there was really only the one big game yesterday, Florida State and Georgia Tech. So this is going to be a much shorter version of the Your Season is Over video than what you're accustomed to seeing on a week-to-week basis during the season when we've got an entire slate of games to talk about. Now, next week's Your Season is Over video will be really long because we've got games Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, I'll then do a Your Season is Over video on Sunday. Then we've got games on Sunday night and Monday, so I'll do another Your Season is Over video next Tuesday, which will be shorter like this one, because it'll only be for the Sunday night and Monday night games. That makes sense? So this will be a little shorter because this is the only half a retard that embarrassed themselves yesterday because we didn't have very many games. I am going to talk a little bit about SMU versus Nevada, the primetime game last night at 8 o'clock, which we watched over on the Patreon page. And a little bit about Montana State and New Mexico, too. But primarily, we're here to point and laugh at Florida State, who absolutely embarrassed themselves yesterday on national television in front of God, Jesus, St. Patrick, and everyone else over in Ireland. What a disappointing display from Florida State. And I said a lot yesterday. I'll probably repeat some of that here, but there were a lot of people that were waiting on Florida State to lose. I don't know how many of those people thought it would be the first game of the year. I didn't. I thought it would be a close game, to be fair. So if you want to troll me, I did pick Florida State to win. I thought it would be close. I took Georgia Tech plus 12 points, and I won that bet. I also took under 55.5 points, won that bet. So I was 2-0 betting on the game, but I did pick Florida State to win. I thought it would be close, and I stated the reasons why I was worried about how Florida State would look. Too much offseason distraction, and that's the entire point. That is why the entire college football world outside of Tallahassee, Florida, has been waiting for Florida State to lose a game so they could point and laugh at them. Florida State fans have made complete fools of themselves everywhere for 8-9 months straight, going back to the playoff snub. And every time I bring this up, I get, well, if your team was 13-0 and didn't get in, you'd be mad too. Yes, everybody would be mad if their team was 13-0 and didn't get in. if that's where it ended, everybody would be on Florida State fans' side. But of course, that's not where it ended. These idiots ran all over Twitter blaming everything under the sun. Kirk Herbstreit, ESPN, the ACC, TV partners, the conference that they're in, the money that they don't make, conspiracy theories involving the playoff committee, which, by the way, for the 100 millionth time, the playoff committee is made up of athletic directors primarily. There's one athletic director from all 10 of the conferences last year. The head of the playoff committee was Boo Carter, the athletic director of NC State. The idea that athletic directors from all over the country are just pretending to meet in a room, discuss the playoffs, and vote on it. And instead, what they're really doing is just being handed a piece of paper from some boogeyman at ESPN that tells them who to vote for is ridiculous. That is not happening. Why in the world would the athletic director from NC State or Michigan or Navy or Western Kentucky or Idaho or whatever, fill in the blank team, Washington Huskies, why would the athletic directors from all of those schools somehow be in cahoots with ESPN to secretly just prop up the SEC? It's completely ridiculous. They sounded like fools, harassed Kirk Herbstreit into oblivion on Twitter, posting his home address and pictures of his family and death threats, and traveled all the way over to Ireland just to boo him yesterday. They have completely made fools of themselves for 8 or 9 months straight, pretending the Orange Bowl didn't matter. It didn't count. They don't care that they took the worst beating in bowl game history, which they lost by 60 points. Oh, that player's sitting out. Everybody's got players sitting out in non-playoff bowl games. Nobody else has ever lost by 60, period. Been playing bowl games for 120 years. You're the only team that's ever lost by 60. So, the game didn't count, blah, 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 whatever. Did this game count yesterday? I'm assuming it did, but I don't know. Hell, you got to check with Florida State and see. I don't know. But that's why people were so excited for the opportunity to see Florida State lose. And boy, did they deliver. They looked like absolute garbage yesterday. And the scary part, if you're a Florida State fan, this was not a fluke win from Georgia Tech. This wasn't something weird that happened at the end of the game, some kind of weird turnover or trick play or, a special teams touchdown or what. It was none of that. Georgia Tech lined up and beat the absolute soul and will to live out of you, primarily along the lines of scrimmage. They pushed you around offensively and defensively in the trenches for 4 quarters yesterday. Of course, yes, I've got my copious notes. In fact, I've got 2 or 3 pages worth, and we're going to go through some of it in a minute. But you don't really need to sit down and look at the stats from yesterday's game if you watched it. Georgia Tech looked like the better team, and here's the problem. They're not. Florida State is infinitely more talented than Georgia Tech, but you know what Florida State isn't? And Georgia Tech is 2 things. And you might want to sit down, Florida State, man, because one of these 2 things is going to be particularly hard for you to swallow, okay? You are more talented than Georgia Tech. There's no question about it. Just line the rosters up side by side. Any comparison you want to use, you've got more talent. And it did not appear that way yesterday. And do you want to know why? 2 reasons. Number 1, there's 2 things Georgia Tech is and has that you don't. Number 1, they're a team. Football is the ultimate team sport. And Georgia Tech is a team. Are they a great team? No. Are they going to win the ACC or make the playoffs? Almost certainly no. And again, I'm not here to crap on Georgia Tech. I was very generous with Georgia Tech yesterday. It was a big win for them. And I'll probably pat them on their little heads again at some point in this video. But you're a better team than them and they beat you. Because you're not a team. They're a team. I hate to go back to the Butch Jones era at Tennessee, but never in my life, well, one other time. There's only one other team in the country that's a bigger example of this. You're a group of individuals. That's what Florida State is. They are not a team. The only team in the country I can think of that's less of a team than Florida State is Colorado. That's it. They're nowhere near a team either. Now, is Florida State as bad as Colorado? Probably not, although Colorado's got a better quarterback, don't they? Hell, everybody's got a better quarterback than Florida State, don't they? More on that in a minute. So that's one thing Georgia Tech has that Florida State doesn't. They're a team. Are they a great team? No. But they're a team. 100% a team. And here's where you might want to sit down, Florida State, man, because this is fixing to be a harder reality even than the loss yesterday, okay? And by the way, speaking of yesterday and a loss in reality, thank God the season is here because Florida State, y'all needed it, but there are some other fan bases out there that need it too, and they're about to start getting it. Reality, a huge dose of it, okay? Reality is it's rare in the off season. It's hard to find reality on the internet in the off season. It's hard because fans wrap themselves up in a fairy tale land of delusion and they get to believing their own bullshit about how good their team is. And there's nothing to counteract that outside of other talking heads on the internet or typer trolls or whatever. And so it's just a never ending argument back and forth that can never be proven because there's no games being played. There's a game played yesterday. There was a game played yesterday. And there's some other fan bases that need the season to start too so that they can get their spoonful of reality that they so desperately need. But anyway, there's another thing Georgia Tech has that Florida State doesn't. So number one, Georgia Tech's a team. Florida State is a group of individuals, mercenaries, transfer portals. Last year, Florida State had a good year. Why? Struck gold in the transfer portal. That's the only reason. But here's number two. And like I said, you're not going to want to hear this. You're not going to like this. You're not going to agree with it. Okay? You're not going to agree with it. I already know that. The other thing Georgia Tech has that Florida State doesn't is a good head coach. Let me repeat that. The other thing that Georgia Tech has that Florida State doesn't is a good head coach. I don't know who Mike Norvell's PR guy is, public relations. But whoever he is, he's underpaid because he's got a lot of people convinced that not only is Mike Norvell a good coach, he's one of the elite. He's one of the best of the best. The guy's been the head coach at Florida State for 4 seasons. Half the time he's had a losing record. Look up his record against how many ranked teams has he beat? How many top 10 teams has he beat? He's not a great coach. And here's what and the other thing, and again, back to his PR guy being an absolute genius. Who in the fuck came up with this fairy tale that Mike Norvell is some kind of a QB guru or QB whisperer? Where did that come from? I don't know if there's anything in the world of college football that's further from truth and actuality than that statement there, that he's some kind of quarterback whisperer or genius or guru. Jordan Travis was just a really good quarterback. He wasn't good because of Mike Norvell. He was just a really good quarterback. Ask yourself this, Florida State, man, and I'm being dead serious, and I want you to really think about it, okay? He's been there 4 years. He has signed 4 recruiting classes. Some of them have even been halfway decent. Where is the quarterback that Mike Norvell handpicked in high school, scouted, recruited, went out and signed, developed for a year or so while Jordan Travis was there, and is now ready to play? Where is that guy? Quarterback guru, genius, whisperer Mike Norvell has had 4 full recruiting classes at Florida State. Jordan Travis leaves to the NFL. Where is the quarterback that Mike Norvell signed 4 years ago, 3 years ago, or 2 years ago that has been in the system and developed at practice and is now ready to take the starting reins? Where? I'll tell you where. Nowhere. He ain't there because Mike Norvell ain't found him, ain't gone out and get him, ain't developed him. It hasn't happened. So you had to go get DJ Ungalale, our buddy the ukulele, DJ Oogabadoog. And he is awful. He is terrible. He was terrible at Clemson. He was terrible at Oregon State. He's going to be terrible at Florida State. What were y'all thinking? I know what you were thinking. You were thinking, this is what Florida State man was thinking. Yeah, we made fun of him real bad when he was at Clemson because he was terrible. Last year, we hardly paid attention to him because he was at Oregon State, but we know he was still terrible. But if Mike Norvell goes and gets him, Mike Norvell will coach him up. Mike Norvell will help him to reach his potential. Mike Norvell will turn him into an actual college quarterback that knows what the fuck he's doing. No, he won't. No, he won't. The ukulele you saw yesterday was the same fucking ukulele you've seen anywhere else. It's not any good. He moves in slow motion. He can't throw the ball downfield. Now, I'll be honest. When I looked the stats up this morning, he was 19 of 27. I'm surprised. I thought it was worse. But now, the overwhelming majority of these 19 completions are hitch passes and swing passes out of the backfield caught out of behind the line of scrimmage. This guy, he had one good throw yesterday downfield, and it was on Florida State's last scoring drive, if I remember right. It was definitely in the second half, and I pointed it out on stream. I was like, we've been shitting on DJ all day. That was a hell of a throw. Outside of that one throw, and again, I don't want to hear that this is his first game at Flair, blah, blah. This is not his first game. This guy has been in college for 4 fucking years at now 3 different schools, and he has looked exactly the same every single Saturday in the fall that some dumbass coach has been retarded enough to trot his ass out there to start. He's not any good. And when he runs, he looks like he's moving in slow motion. It looks like if you put a little bit of syrup on a paper plate and then held the paper plate up and down and just watched the syrup slowly start to move down the plate like a snail. This guy's got cement blocks for feet. It's unreal how just awkward and honestly just fucking goofy this guy looks when he tries to run. And thank God he doesn't really. He had 6 carries yesterday for 7 yards. And he was only sacked 1 time. So don't come at me with, well, in college they count sacks as carries. So he really didn't run the ball worth a fuck, period. That's what really, dummy. Let's go ahead and get the rest of these stats out of the way now that we're on it. FSU, of course, lost 24-21. Georgia Tech kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired, to win the game 24-21. Florida State gets the ball to start the game. They go down, score. They made it look really, really easy. Georgia Tech's defense looked bad. Florida State attempted 1 pass on their first drive, and guess what? It was a swing pass to the running back out of the backfield. Every other play they ran on that first drive was a running play. They went right down the field like Georgia Tech wasn't even there, scored. Then converted a 2-point conversion for no reason at all to make it 8-0 Florida State. People in my comment section were like, it's over. Florida State's going to win by 50. Might as well turn this off. Same old Georgia Tech. Florida State dominating again. Probably going to win the NBA title again this year. Just dumb shit like, how they are. Well, Florida State kicks it off to Georgia Tech, and guess what happened? The same exact thing, but in opposite. Georgia Tech went right down the field, hardly throwing the ball at all, ran it down Florida State's throat, and scored a touchdown of their own and made it 8-7. And you're thinking, what's going on here? What's going on here? Florida State then kicked a couple of ridiculously long field goals. Shout out to Florida State's field goal kicker. The only bright spot on that garbage-ass team is their field goal kicker. He had, a 55-yarder and a 59-yarder? Wow. I mean, that's good. Shout out to the kicker. Everyone else on the team is hot, melted, steaming pile of dog shit, but the kicker knows what he's doing. It tied up 21 apiece. Georgia Tech gets the ball. They go down late in the fourth quarter, kick a game-winning field goal as time expires. Florida State had 98 yards rushing. 98. Now, I didn't go look play-by-play and look this up, but they had 60 or 70 yards rushing on the first fucking drive of the game. Remember back to the first drive of the game. They got the ball to start the game. They only threw 1 fucking pass, and it was a little swing pass to the running back that picked up, 5 or 10 yards. It wasn't like it was an 80-yard bomb. Everything else was on the ground. That was a 75-yard touchdown run. About 60 of it was on the ground. So on the first drive of the game, they rushed for 60 yards. They finished with 98. The rest of the game, they had 98 yards rushing after that first drive. Roydell Williams, this overgrown fucking baby Huey-looking motherfucker, I'm not doing the thing. I hurt myself yesterday doing like that, trying to defibrillate myself. I had a little, anyway, no one cares. Well, maybe two or three care. Anyway, that Roydell Williams, man, that's the kid that played at Alabama last year. And instead of a mouthpiece, he literally had a fucking pacifier in his mouth during the game while he was playing. I didn't notice one yesterday for Florida State, so I don't know. Maybe he's grown up. Maybe he's potty trained now. Maybe he's out of diapers and wearing pull-ups. I don't know. But in any case, I didn't see Roydell fucking Williams, our buddy Binky Williams, with his goddamn pacifier with a So thank God we didn't have to see that for 3 fucking hours yesterday. But this guy ain't nothing, is he? No, he's not. 12 carries for 38 yards, 3 yards a carry. Great. There's 150 or 200 running backs in the country to get 3 yards a carry. Congratulations. That's unbelievable and amazing. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, 190 yards rushing. I thought Florida State's defense was supposed to be mostly intact from last year. I know you lost Jared Verse and a couple other guys, but holy shit, that defense is horrendous. Almost 200 yards rushing to Georgia Tech? Ah, damn. Now, Haynes King didn't throw the ball great either, 11 of 16. So again, the high completion, but it's a lot of like at the line, behind the line. And neither one of these quarterbacks are lighting the world on fire. I have to tell you that right now. I don't want to hear these two QBs' names mentioned with the word Heisman ever, but they're pretty average QBs. Now, Haynes King at least, not ukulele, but Haynes King at least. Now this he can run. Now he's not the fastest guy on the field, but boy, he's tough. He's tough. You know, he reminds me a little bit of Cam Rising. I think Cam Rising's got a better arm than Haynes King, and obviously just a better overall player. No shade to Haynes King, but Cam Rising is, he's really good. Been around a long time, Utah quarterback. But Cam Rising is that way when he runs too. Yeah, long strides. It doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he seems to always, if it's 3rd and 5, he's going to get you 6 yards, that kind of thing. And Haynes King is tough. He don't run out of bounds. He put his shoulder down multiple times yesterday. I mean, he's not scared of contact. He's not scared to get hit. That's a tough dude. Shout out to Haynes King. He was the MVP of that game yesterday, but only 11 of 16 passing for 146. Florida State had 0 sacks on Haynes King. Not a single one. 0. None. Nada. 0. Same number of wins Florida State has in the year 2024. You're 0-2 this year. Now, I know this season you're 0-1. Yes, but you're 0-2 for the calendar year 2024 because Georgia beat the absolute fuck out of you not that long ago. You just can't beat the state of Georgia, can you? What, the state of Georgia owns you. The state of Georgia is so much better than Florida when it comes to football. It's not even close. It's not even close. Georgia owns Florida and Florida State. Georgia Tech owns Florida State now. Do you know Georgia Tech has beat Florida State 3 of the last 4 times they've played? Again, this is not a fluke, folks. Mike Norvell's got a losing season 2 of the 4 years he's been there. Florida State as a program has lost to Georgia Tech 3 of the last 4 times they've played. This ain't a fluke. Florida State's not any good. That damn circus school, man. I told you with the midgets and the cannons and they got the fucking trapeze down there. A literal fucking circus school. You can literally major in Barnum and Bailey down there. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Florida State did allow 1 sack, but Ukulele was under constant pressure all day long, even when he wasn't sacked. Georgia Tech dominated the line of scrimmage. Ukulele constantly under pressure. Norvell, not a good coach. Not a good coach, not a good recruiter, too much on the portal, not enough on high school recruiting. It's a giant fucking lie and a scam that he's some kind of QB whisperer or guru. The guy's had 4 recruiting classes at Florida State and hadn't developed a single goddamn quarterback that's ready to play. To the point where he had to go out and get 2 other people's leftover garbage in DJ Ukulele, who everybody under the sun knew was not any good, and he proved it yesterday. Pitiful, pathetic, piss poor, and sad. Outside of the Ukulele, get rid of your right tackle immediately, or sooner if you can. That right tackle might be the worst offensive lineman in America. I don't know his name. I'm sure the Florida State fans, if they're brave enough to be watching, which they're probably not, they logged off the internet yesterday, and we're not going to see or hear from them for a while. But that right tackle is like a turnstile. Oh my God, he's bad. Flat-footed, slow, lumbering around. What is going on? Hard to understand. Too much on the portal. Too much off-season crying. This is not just me, a lot of people. A lot of people this offseason have wondered out loud, speculated, and tried to tell you all this outside noise going on around Florida State and their athletic department and their football program that's not related and has nothing to do with games this fall is a problem. All the lawsuits, all the running around the internet, still crying about playoffs and Orange Bowls 8-9 months later. completely obsessed with Kirk Herbstreit. I can't get over the obsession y'all have with Kirk Herbstreit. It's the weirdest, honestly, one of the sickest just infatuations that I have seen on the internet in a long time. You know, people who are obsessed with feet, and you're like, what? And they're on the feet finder, and they're just these weirdos that are just obsessed with feet. That's like Florida State fans with Kirk Herbstreit. You want me to move? Should I move on to something else? I've got 2 more pages of notes about Florida State. You want me to move on to something else? Or keep going? The Big Ten don't want you. The SEC don't want you. The Big 12 wanted you a couple of weeks ago. I doubt they want you now. Does the ACC even want you anymore? I don't know, man. It's not looking good for Florida State. It's not looking good for Florida State. For some reason, I just have written down here. I'll be honest. I'm a little weird too. Let me just read you what I've got written down here. FSU 0 sacks, allowed 1 sack, got dominated on the line of scrimmage. Kirk Herbstreit / ESPN, Big 12, SEC, Big 10, SEC, Big 12, ACC, Blarney Stone. See, all day on Saturday, I'm giving away a little secret inside information here, but all day on Saturday when I'm watching these football games and I'm live streaming the majority of the day, whatever teams are losing, I start making a lot of jokes about that team. People in the comment section start making a lot of jokes about that team. And I keep the notebook over here on my desk in case something comes up and I'm like, oh, I got to remember to mention that in tomorrow's Your Season is Over video. Well, apparently something came up yesterday about a Blarney Stone right as I was writing down FSU 0 sacks, allowed 1 sack, Kirk Herbstreit, ESPN, Big 10, SEC, Big 12. Look, I don't even know. Can I even show it to you? Hold on. See if you can see it. Try it this way. Look. God damn it, where is it? Yeah, there it is. See? Blarney Stone. You see it? I don't know. Isn't the Blarney Stone that thing in Ireland that people go over there and kiss for good luck? Like, I don't know if it's like part of a castle or something. I don't know. Never been over there. But I think that's what the Blarney Stone is. Something you kiss for good luck. I guess you didn't kiss it. I got an idea, though, for the Florida State fans. Instead of kissing that Blarney Stone, how about you get down on your hands and fucking knees and kiss my fucking taint? How about you do that? How's that sound? Fuck the Blarney Stone. Suck loose taint, dummy. How about that? Should we move on? No, hold on. Can't move on. I got a whole nother fucking page of notes here. Oh, did you see the press release that Florida State put out this morning? They're suing the ACC, the SEC, ESPN, fucking Disney, the SEC network, all this shit that they're suing to try to get out of a deal that they agreed to sign. Well, they put a press release out this morning, and apparently they're filing some more lawsuits. I'm going to have to take the glasses off because this is a long fucking list here. This is a long, look out here. That's how long the list is on the bottom right there. It's a long fucking list. Here you go. Florida State has announced that they are suing Irish stew, Irish coffee, Irish whiskey, Irish pubs, the Irish flag. They're suing the luck of the Irish. They're suing Irish wolfhounds, Irish elk, Irish setters. They're suing St. Patrick, the holiday, and the person. I think St. Patrick is dead, dude. Are you suing as a state or something? They're suing St. Patrick and St. Patrick's Day. Weird. They're suing Guinness. They're suing the Tilted Kilt Bar and Restaurant. They're suing Potatoes. Oscar Wilde. Listen to this. They're suing everybody with the last name Murphy, Finnegan, and any last name that starts with O apostrophe. Like O'Brien, O'Reilly, O'Malley, etc. Holy shit. They're suing Liam Neeson, Bono, Pierce Brosnan, Cillian Murphy, Colin Farrell. What is this? The Lord of the Dance? They're suing the Lord of the Dance. Soda Bread. There's Notre Dame. They're suing Notre Dame just for being the Fighting Irish. They're suing Seamus. This is unbelievable. Irish folk music they're suing. They're suing Irish Blessings. Holy shit. Oh, and Elon Musk. Wow. They're suing Elon Musk. Yeah. Because Florida State fans are getting absolutely destroyed on Twitter and they don't think that's fair, I guess, or whatever. So, oh my God. And that's not even a whole list. I got tired of writing that shit down, honestly. But Florida State, your season is over. You're an absolute joke of a team and a program right now. And the only thing I can think of that's worse is your fan base. Your fan base has made a complete joke and mockery of themselves. They've embarrassed themselves. They're an embarrassment to themselves. They're an embarrassment to the human race. They're an embarrassment to sports fans around the world. They're an embarrassment to sports. They're an embarrassment to humanity. They're an embarrassment to evolution. It's getting to be where Florida State fans are almost proof that evolution isn't real. In fact, it might be de-evolution, or like instead of evolving and getting better, like he might be getting worse. I don't know. You guys are in for a long, long, rough year, both on the football field on Saturday and here on this channel, because I'm not done laughing at you this season, unfortunately for you. You've got a series of L's coming your way this year. And I, for one, am going to enjoy every fucking second of it. I'm not even going to lie to you. Not even going to pretend to lie to you. Why would I do that? I wouldn't. All right, let's talk about the SMU-Nevada game. I was disappointed in SMU. I don't know if you want to accuse me of drinking the Kool-Aid or getting hyped in or getting sucked in or whatever. I thought SMU was going to be a good team this year. I legitimately did. And I still think that SMU long-term is the right move for the ACC. I saw a lot of people yesterday, oh, the ACC fucking garbage, adding these terrible teams like SMU. I think it was a brilliant move for the ACC to add SMU. Gets them into the Texas market, the Dallas market. SMU's got a ton of money financially, and it didn't cost the ACC anything to add SMU. They are joining the SEC for zero TV revenue for the first number of years. So it's a no-lose situation for the ACC, and I still like SMU's chances long run. That said, they did not look good yesterday. And this is coming off of, 11-2 season last year for SMU, where they won their conference. They had a whole bunch coming back, especially on offense, including their quarterback, who was supposed to just put up ridiculous numbers. And this guy, I don't want to say he looked as bad as the ukulele, because nobody looks that bad, but he looked lost and confused. And I'll tell you what's most concerning, or has to be most concerning, I would think, if you're an SMU fan. And look, SMU won the game, so you're like, why are you shitting on SMU? Because I'm not going to shit on Nevada. That's why. And I'm not really shitting on SMU. Congratulations. It was a great comeback. They won the game. We'll talk about that in a second. But the Nevada looked unprepared. They looked poorly coached. The first half especially, several times during the first half, they tried to run a hurry-up offense, right? Run the play, hurry up, get up, run back to the line, snap it real quick. Terrible. It looked like they had never practiced the hurry-up offense. The first time they tried to do it, the offensive linemen couldn't get set and weren't ready. The second time they tried to do it, the offensive linemen jumped off sides. Players weren't lined up right. The quarterback would be ready to snap the ball, but then he'd look somewhere and he'd have to move somebody around because they didn't know where they were supposed to be. They looked unprepared. They looked poorly coached. That's the worst part about it. Because Nevada, they were a 2-win team last year. See, SMU was one of the best teams in the group of 5 last year. Probably the best team in the group of 5 last year. I know Liberty was not any good. They just had a better record than SMU. SMU would have beat Liberty last year. But anyway, so SMU was one of the best group of 5 teams last year. Nevada was one of the worst. One of the worst, like 2-10. And Nevada probably should have won that game. They outplayed SMU for 90% of that game. But SMU did come back and win it. 29-24, a late touchdown by SMU. That was their first lead of the game. They scored a touchdown to take the lead with 1 minute and 18 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And that was the first point they had led in that entire game. Their QB, Preston Stone, who's supposed to be this all-world guy putting up video game numbers, 17 of 30 for 254 yards. But that doesn't tell the story. He did not play well at all. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. SMU only had 100 yards rushing total for the game. Nevada, on the other hand, rushed for 148 against them. SMU fumbled the ball 3 times. Now, they got extremely lucky. They didn't lose any of them. But my God, if they lose even one of those fumbles, they likely lose for sure. SMU, you got to be really concerned looking at this schedule coming up if you're SMU. I think they have TCU on the schedule as a non-con, and who beat them last year. And then their first 2 conference games as members of the ACC are against Florida State and Louisville. After the Florida State game yesterday, I was like, holy shit, SMU is going to beat this Florida State team because SMU gets them at home. It's their first ACC game. It'll be a crazy crowd. Then I watched the SMU game last night, and I was like, my God, who's going to watch that crap? SMU versus Florida State. 2 terrible fucking teams. I don't know, but boy, SMU was extremely disappointing. Montana State beat New Mexico 35-31. I know nobody cares about that. New Mexico, again, one of the worst group of 5 teams on the planet every year. Montana State, one of the better FCS teams every single year. In fact, the FCS team, Montana State, was a 2-touchdown favorite over the FBS New Mexico team. And for most of the game, it looked like New Mexico was going to win. Again, absolutely dominated this game up until the fourth quarter. At the end of the third quarter, New Mexico was winning 31-14, and they gave it all away. 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter by Montana State, and they end up winning 35-31 over New Mexico. So congratulations to Georgia Tech, SMU, and Montana State for their wins yesterday. Florida State, y'all got major problems, issues, and situations. And you keep fucking with me, there's going to be consequences and repercussions on top of the fact that you can't win a goddamn football game against the nerds, Georgia Tech. That's going to end up being the least of your worries. Because I'm going to be on here reminding you day in and day out over the course of this college football season that not only did you lose by 60 to Georgia, but you let Georgia's little brother pull your pants down, bend you over their knee, and spank it blue. They spanked your bottom blue. Hell, they spanked it green in honor of Ireland. Embarrassing. Where is Georgia Tech? Right here. I mentioned it yesterday. I'm going to mention it again. I don't normally do this on the Your Season's Over videos. This isn't a pat people on the head video. Again, we talk about the losers on this video here. I am happy for Georgia Tech fans. I've obviously lived in Georgia my whole life. I know a lot of Georgia Tech fans. It's been a rough road for them for a while now. And while I can't say things just to say them. I have to always say how I truly feel. So don't take this as me shitting on Georgia Tech, because this was a big win for them in Brent Key. A signature win for Georgia Tech and Brent Key, no doubt about it. But I'm not going to get on here and blow smoke and tell you I think they're winning the ACC or making the playoffs or they figured something out or they're going 100-0. No. What does this mean? Instead of winning 6 or 7 games, they might win 7 or 8. I mean, that's my honest opinion on it. Again, not to shit on Georgia Tech. I'm happy for the fans. It's a huge win for them and some momentum. That they've been recruiting a little better. They just got a commitment from a 5-star, the first ever 5-star that is ever committed to Georgia Tech. So they got some things headed in the right direction. And while I hate Georgia Tech, I am happy for their fans. Where the fuck is SMU? Let's just laugh at their helmet for a second. There you go. The Mustangs right there. Didn't take them off the wall because they somehow managed to win. But boy, it sure looked like they were going to be joining Florida State over here on the wall. Oh, something about the Your Season is Over wall. This is temporary, okay? I've got something else cooking for the Your Season is Over helmets that we do at the intro to these videos. Some things have been ordered. And this is on me. I order almost everything off of Amazon, and I'm so programmed to do that, I don't even really pay attention anymore. And one of the things that I really, really needed that I ordered off of Amazon, again, this is on me. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm taking responsibility here. I didn't realize it at the time, though. It was coming from China. I didn't realize that. So like a few days went by and I'm like, where is it? So I went to Amazon, checked your order status, and it said item has been shipped. So I clicked on it. Fucking tracking number from China. That's on me. Had I known that, I wouldn't have ordered. I'd have ordered something else similar or whatever from Merck. Not because I care about buying Chinese stuff. I don't care where something is made. That's whatever. But I just didn't know. I don't like buying shit from China because it takes forever to get here. So this is temporary as far as how I did the helmets today. And there's only one anyway, so what's a big deal? And it's Florida State. No one fucking cares about Florida State, fucking all-girls clown college. So I'm hoping everything I need to do what I wanted to do with the Your Season is Over helmets is here by next weekend so that I can do it Sunday for week 1. But it's possible we may have to do this for week 1 too, or week 1 as well, in addition to that and 2. But by week 2, because this is week 1 coming up next week, by week 2 for sure, I've got something I'm doing for the Your Season is Over helmet, something better than, well, I think better than that. But what do y'all, I'm going to let you, if you want to click off, that's pretty much it for the video. But I don't think I've done like a thing of the new room here. So I put the Service Academy helmets over here. And you know what I'm thinking of doing? I want to collect more Service Academy helmets. Air Force has got some unbelievable looking helmets. So I want to get 2 or 3 of each. Army's got some great ones. And you see, I've got just like the plain Jane Army helmet and Air Force helmet. This is actually the Coast Guard. A lot of people ask me about this one. They're a Division 3 team, I believe, but that's the Coast Guard. And of course, Navy. I do like this Navy helmet. That's a cool looking helmet. So I'm going to do something. This wall will be Service Academy helmets. And I'm going to try to get a few more, maybe of each Army, Navy, and Air Force. I think that's the only Coast Guard helmet you can find. Up here, those are all the Ivy League schools. So 8 Ivy League. Those are the 8 Ivy League schools up there. If you want to pause the video or whatever and look at them, there you go. And then the way I did the back wall, everything between the lights is Power 5 or what we now call Power 4. And they're in alphabetical order. So, Alabama, Arizona, Arizona State, Arkansas, Auburn, Baylor, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Houston, Illinois, Nebraska, North Carolina, Northwestern, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Wake Forest, Washington, Wisconsin, West Virginia. I wasn't sure what to do with these 2. So I put them on the bottom. So they're still inside the lights. So they're still technically Power 4, but then, there you go with that. And then up above the lights and below the lights are FCS and Group of 5. So it's hard to see, I guess, but Akron, App State, Ball State, Bowling Green, Charleston Southern, Coastal Carolina, Colorado State, East Carolina, Florida A&M, FAU, and over here FIU, James Madison, Furman, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Hawaii, Idaho, Kennesaw State, Louisiana Raging Cajuns, Louisiana Tech, and then moving down below, Marshall, Middle Tennessee State, North Texas, South Dakota, not South Dakota State, just South Dakota, Southern Miss, UTSA, Temple, and Tulane. And then I've got 6 or 7 more. They're in the closet, so I can't. Are they in the closet? Yeah, they're in the closet. So I think there's 6 more to hang up. Wyoming, UAB, South Florida, Wofford, and UTEP, I think. Anyway, this is the setup for the live streaming. 3 TVs, 4 TVs, 3 up top. That's usually what I watch football on, is those 3 TVs. I can watch football on this fourth TV, but that's primarily for NCAA 25. 2 computer monitors, which I could watch additional games on. So really, there's 6 screens in here. I could watch 6 different games. I could watch 6 different games at once. And there's really not room in here for these movie theater chairs, but I love these movie theater chairs so much that I put them in here anyway. This room is a little bit narrower than the other room I had, but so it feels a little tight in here because of the movie theater chairs. But like I said, I just love these damn chairs so damn much that I had to have them in here. But anyway, man, it sure does feel good that the college football season has started, don't it? Yeah, it does. It really does. Next week's, boy, I tell you, next week's going to be bad. Clemson and Georgia play. So one of those 2 teams is getting a lot of airtime next Sunday. Miami and Florida play next week. Everybody on the internet wins, no matter who loses that one, because we get to clown somebody. You've got Notre Dame and Texas A&M playing next week. West Virginia and Penn State. I mean, it's just great games. LSU and Southern Cal, I think, play on Sunday night. Just 5 days in a row, great games. So your season over video next Sunday will be great. And again, there'll be 2 your season is over videos next week because we'll do one on Sunday for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday games. Then I'm going to do another shorter one on Tuesday for the Sunday and Monday night games. But anyway, I sure appreciate you watching. I hope you're excited for the return of college football season. The return of the Your Season is Over videos. Call-in shows every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9 p.m. So if you want to talk some college football with me, we go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. for 2 or 3 hours. I do nothing but take phone calls, and we talk college football. We talk about the previous weekend's games and the upcoming games, whatever it is you want to talk about in the world of college football. Saturday morning live show every Saturday morning during the season at 9 a.m. The college kickoff show. We get you set for all the day's games, see what's going on, what time the teams are playing, what channel, all that kind of thing. We give some money away on Saturday mornings. And then I live stream multiple time slots for games every Saturday as well over on my Patreon page. If you want to join the Patreon page, the link is in the description of the video. It's probably the best way to help support the show and the channel. We have a really, really good time on the Patreon streams. It's a smaller crowd than the normal stream, so it's more of a like, hanging out in a bar with 40 or 50 people all watching the same game and talking about the same game, as opposed to the live streams I do on YouTube. Like yesterday, it was 2,000 people in there watching, and you just, I can't even read the comments at that point. But anyway, link to the Patreon's in the description if you want to hang out on Saturdays and watch the games with us. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good morning. Fuck Florida State.